I'm back. This segment, I'm going to talk about a little bit about Hurricane Sandy and survivalism. It's going to be more about survivalism than Hurricane Sandy. Um, Being from the East Coast, I don't live in the East Coast anymore, but definitely have friends and family in the East Coast, and it definitely hit them hard. And I don't want to say my friends and family, but the East Coast in general. The interesting thing about Hurricane Sandy is that, sad to say, but in general, that's going to happen in the future to come. We're gonna get a lot of natural disasters. Now, this is not me trying to preach fear. It's just me being real. And I found the interesting thing about the Hurricane Sandy responses, and this is the biggest thing of all. The liberal media always would kind of anybody who was into survivalism, they were kind of paint as like a lunatic or nutcase, um, all these type of bad names you want to think about, right? And they end up being the smart ones. I've been saying this for a long time. I teach spirituality, metaphysics, but survivalism has always been part of what we do. And in terms of the movement that Mac Leslie and I started. And the interesting thing about it is that when you really look around, survivalists end up being a different camp than spiritual people. And it's so bad that spiritual people never mention it. So for the most part, you would hear them talk about a whole bunch of other subjects. You would even hear people who talk about politics talk about a lot of other subjects, but nobody's prepared for when things get hot. And trust me, they will get hot. And part of it is not just because of natural disasters, but economic crashes. Um, you know, 2001 we went through a recession. 2008 we went through a bigger recession. When it crashes again, we probably will go through a depression. And when that happens, and then when you combine that with a lot of natural disasters happening, it means trouble. And the thing is, it's not about being scared; it's about being prepared. Now, many people think sometimes when you talk about being prepared, that you have to kind of like, you know, go out of your way to start buying food, to start getting guns, all kind of craziness. I don't mean that. You could be prepared by going to the store and picking up two, three extra cans. If you're lucky to go to a 99-cent store, you get two, three extra cans for 99 cents, or even less. And you do that once a week, 3 cans every week. In 3 months, you got 36 cans. Tells you something. May not seem like much when you're doing it. You don't have to go out of your way. You don't have to be a lunatic. But eventually, you have extra cans of food. You should have some water. Many people don't really realize that when you look at it, we have so many things from solar flares coming. And it's not about being preaching fear. It's just about being real. Many people talk about, 2012, December 21st coming, we're all going to sing Kumbaya. But even if we are going into a golden age, we're going to go through hard times first. And I think the survivalists have the spiritualist beat right now because the survivalists will be prepared for it. A lot of people don't really realize that most of the lifestyles that we live is anti-nature. It's artificial in nature. Even when you live in a city, you live in a city these days, you don't see you don't see local communities anymore like you used to see in the 30s and 40s. You talk to anybody who's alive in the 30s and 40s, they'll tell you the whole block will play baseball together. Everybody knew each other. Now you only get that in the suburban areas. The problem is with the suburban areas, they don't even realize that they gotta be prepared too, because when stuff really happens, the people in the cities are probably gonna go to the suburbs to try to get resources. Believe it or not, when they can't get anything from their brother and sister next to them in the cities, they're gonna run to the suburbs. So in essence, and when I say suburbs, even suburbs or rural areas, even more, because in actuality, the rural areas is really how you're supposed to be living. Because when you're in certain rural areas, you don't even have police like that. You have to have guns. You might need a gun if a bear comes to you. That may seem crazy to a city person, but those type of people will make it they'll last a lot longer when drama happens than people in the city life who they don't know how to create a fire for themselves. They don't know anything. They don't know simple things like, you're dehydrated sometimes, you know how it goes. You might have to drink your own urine. Things like that sounds crazy, but it's survival stuff that you need to know. Survival techniques that you need to know. Um, if it doesn't happen, well, you consider yourself a smarter person, more prepared person. But the whole bottom line is, many people have said 2000 came, nothing happened. 2003 came, nothing happened. What people don't, and the same thing that happened December 21st, 2012, they're going to say nothing happened. What those people don't really understand is when something does happen, if you're not prepared, it's probably too late. Nature gives you signs before she moves. I had people who were in New York, right, when it was going on, or who were in the East Coast. When it was going on, they were saying, oh, it wasn't that bad, just a little rain. Shoot, honestly, even people in the East Coast, I guarantee 4 or 5 months from now, a lot of them will probably forget. Those who were not the most affected. So what is Mother Nature going to do? She's going to send you something even bigger. Every time she sends you signs and you don't pay attention, she sends even bigger signs. Now, would that be enough for people to wake up? Probably not. That's the reason why, at the end of the day, you don't have to be a real psychic to realize the world's going to go through a lot of pain before we go through a golden age. Bottom line. So I kept it short and sweet. But at the end of the day, survivalists sometimes get laughed at in certain circles. I think instead of laughing, you guys should take lessons from them. Because at the end of the day, you could be that Democrat who loves, good socialism. And I'm not a Democrat or Republican, I'm independent. But at the end of the day, those so-called rednecks with guns, part of them is the reason why the so-called Illuminati hasn't taken over the way they want to yet. So when they want to disarm you, nobody disarms you for your own benefit. Always remember that. When you go to Switzerland and everybody got guns, Switzerland has almost no crime. Some facts to realize when you're making your decisions about who has your best benefit. Till next time, peace.